see it.
No chains, no rules, no safe words. This is Unbounded with Christopher Allen.
And welcome to the Unbounded podcast. I am your host, Christopher Allen. It is another Monday. Certainly glad to have you here with us. Today, we're just gonna get right into it. I'm personally super excited about this episode. I have not one, but two guest hosts in studio with me. I got my main man. How long have I been rolling with you? Like 16 years at this point.
At least 16 years at a minimum.
My main man, AJ, is in the building.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And as an even more special treat, it's always a pleasure to be with AJ. But then you got the future.
The firstborn.
The next generation. His son. My godson.
Hello.
Adrian is in the building too. Curly haired and all. Y'all should see it. Because we're streaming on Facebook Live too, so they get the treat to see the curls in reality. The curls is real. I don't know how you did it, player. But we're talking about situationships.
One of my favorite topics.
Yes. So, and Adrian even said, he's like, "What is a situationship?" We're like, you know what? We just gonna go ahead and hop on this podcast, and we gonna do it live. We gonna just figure it out. So why don't you explain from your side, Mr. Situationship?
Hey, listen, I that was a title they gave me a long time ago, or the moon far away. But basically, a situationship is the borderlines to a relationship, but the circumstances, we call it, and I do air quotes when I say circumstances, that bring those parties together is more of a situation. More commonly than not, somebody gets pregnant or a drunk moment happens, and we all of a sudden hook up. So now we in a relationship that's not a relationship. So we got to call it something for the people out there. So situationship is born.
Mm-hmm. And I was saying in our production meeting, I was like, I feel like somewhere around 2011, things just sort of switched. And we stopped dating, and we ended up in these kind of, hookups that breed these situationships. And what's kind of a memorable situationship that you've had, and what is your take on them? Is it all positive, all negative, or
anything that you have to categorize as a situation? It depends on just that, the situation itself. There's not really necessarily a positive or negative connotation on it. It's just how you want to look at it. Now, situationships can turn into relationships, and that, of course, most people would look at as a positive. But at the same time, a situationship can be just that. In that way, most people will look at it as a negative. But it all depends on what you want at that time in that particular situation. Whether if you want it to be a relationship, then you got a hand in the fight. You got a dog in the fight, as they would say. Mm-hmm. But if you just want it to be, a situationship, then hey, you got exactly what you want, so you can't go wrong.
Now I know, Adrian, you're only 14, total grown man at 14. Have you ever experienced anything kind of like a situationship in your 14 years of life?
I mean, yeah, but I wouldn't say it's like something as major as like a girl being pregnant or something like that. But there's definitely been moments where
definitely not ready to be a granddaddy.
Yeah. But there's definitely been moments where it's like it was not a relationship, but there's something there.
Is there a particular reason that, and this is for both of you, because I feel like, like you said, it could be like a one night stand, and then what I hear the most is, well, we just hooked up one night and now she won't leave me alone. Now she's attached. And it's like, okay, so talk to her about that. It's like, no, man, it's not that easy.
It's not always a she thing either. males and females, but mostly predominantly viewed in males and easily shown in males, have this thing called pride, where they won't let
Big pride.
They won't let you know that a situationship is just that. It's always she won't leave me alone, so now she calls me in this situation. But then, men tend to forget that, hey, at some stage in life, you grown. And your mama don't tell you what to do anymore, but you let this female who gave you lady, some of y'all, rest of y'all females, y'all know who y'all are. But you let this female tell you what to do and when to do it and how to do it and everything like that, but you want the rest of the world to think that they're crazy. I mean, fellas, to an extent, we got to take some responsibility. Now, I understand male and female are wired differently, but fellas, let's own up in 2019 now.
And to me, like, these situationships just get like out of control. What I feel like, and I ain't gonna say no names, you know who I'm talking about.
Shh, be quiet. Tonight is the night that we ride.
But where the situationship starts spiraling, to me, out of control, to where you start digging yourself into a hole so deep that now you can't get out. Now you stuck, damned if you do, damned if you don't. Where now you two shacking up. Now you got, y'all doing all kinds of stuff that portrays a relationship, but then when it's like, when the light hits, it's like, oh, no, we're not a relationship. Well, they look like a relationship, sound like a relationship, and it's walking like a relationship. But then it's like you want to dart out of the way, like it's not even that. That's where the communication comes in. Nobody's on the same page anymore.
Hey, yeah, again, and communication is always going to be a strong factor in anything you do in life. But when you say the word communication and situationship, you got to make sure that we communicating about the same thing. Are we communicating about turning this situationship into something more? Are we communicating about keeping the situation the same? But the problems really tend to come in when those lines of communication get crossed and one person wants one thing where the other person wants something completely different.
Right. If she wants something that I'm not willing to give, I'm going to just say, hey, look, baby, I can't provide this for you for X, Y, Z reasons, and we need to figure out what to do to move forward from there.
Now, see, I know we unbounded right now, but now I feel like that's a complete lie. Because I say that to say this. I've known you for a lot of years.
Here we go. Now we in the boxing ring.
And now I feel like the biggest question that you, me, my son, when he gets to that point in life, the biggest question he's going to struggle with is, well, what have we been doing up to this point? And that's when most people get stuck, because it's like, wow, what have we been doing up to this point? I thought we were just, having sex or having fun, as most guys would say, enjoying each other's company or getting to know each other. But I've been in and out of your house and in and out of you, for lack of a better term. We unbounded. Forgive me. We unbounded. Hey, are we unbounded
Yeah,
here?
I love it.
Are we unbounded here?
We unbounded, man.
Okay,
No
so,
change, no rules, no safe
all of that. We've been through a lot of in and outs. Like we was in what area of the country has in and outs a lot?
Oh,
like,
California.
There you go. Yeah, we were California natives. We've been in a lot of in and outs. But
Animal
the one
style
thing,
fries is lit though.
the one thing we won't admit to is that this is a situationship. We'll call it everything under the sun, because as a male or as a female, we want the situation to continue. We may not necessarily want to try to actually find what we were looking for in somebody else, because it took forever to get this situation going with you.
Man, stop being lazy.
Exactly. Like, put the work in there. Now, see, me, myself, I'd rather be by myself than to be stuck to anyone else, because one thing Medea taught me is I can do bad all by myself.
Now, is that just an ideal that you have? That's just your mantra?
Oh, no, I mean, that's just
like, is that what you want permanently? Like,
no,
you don't have an interest in marriage or nothing?
No. Definitely. I mean, I'm getting too old. I'm not gonna throw my age out there. Y'all might get a little jealous and get a little shocked at the same time. Mm-hmm. But it's definitely not a permanent for life thing. There are definitely some wife prospects out there, but it's all about, you know, the situations that are in place currently. You know, there's definitely some people out there I wouldn't mind, you know, calling, you know, girlfriend, wifey, boo, whatever y'all be calling y'all significant others nowadays. I don't even know. I've been single for so long, I lost track. But definitely some prospects out there. Like as I look around the studio, I see a sign up and I see a girlfriend over here. You know, I love you, baby. It looks like your handwriting anyway, so gonna assume you wrote that.
I got to love myself, you know.
You know what I'm saying? You know, self-love is always the best love.
If anybody gonna tell me they love me, it's me.
But yeah, it's definitely not a forever type of deal. But you know, it's something that, you know, it is right now. It helps me to understand the situation that I'm in with myself currently and be at a more of an okay state. To say somebody comes in and they have enough it factor to take me out of my self-love situation and put me into a, you know, situation with them, then, you know, I'd be open and okay with that. But if that situation were to ever end, I know how to be by myself. So I'm good either way.
There's so many people who lack that skill of knowing how to be by themselves. Those are the ones that are in and out of pointless relationships, back and forth, getting back and forth. And that's another topic for a future podcast that we'll talk about, which is the makeup breakup cycle.
You giving away too many. You giving away the farm. You giving away the farm for free.
Hey, I'm just telling the topic.
I understand that. I understand
you
that.
got to sprinkle a little something more.
Listen here, man. This ain't Bojangles seasoning, which I got in front of me right now.
Little bit of,
you know, but we can't give them all.
Yeah, Bojangles, cut us a deal. Sponsor.
Yeah, please. We need sponsorships.
Cajun filet biscuits for life.
Hey, man, I'll take it. I
want hashtag all the bow rounds.
Oh, that's it.
But I was going to ask Adrian, do you think that, like, what is kind of, when you look at a female that maybe has potential, but like, what makes you decide, okay, she needs to be a situation or this needs to be a relationship?
Well, the first thing you obviously see in a female, because you don't know everyone right off the bat, so the first thing you see is looks, and that sounds kind of bad, but it's true. Like,
it's actual fact.
That is a fact.
If I randomly see a girl, like, I'm obviously know it's the looks, but the way to know is to get to know her. You gotta know her past. You gotta know what her future is. You gotta know what she's like now.
Well, that boy's smart.
You just gotta see where things go and just build from there. Because situationships, you don't usually choose to be in a situationship. It kind of just happens.
This is 14 years old talking to you guys.
14. He's
a prodigy. 14-year-old, you know, like Mahatma Gandhi prodigy of, you know, situationships talking to you right now. This is insane.
Like this is like prayer position in the monastery type of intelligence.
This is insane. Like
the world ain't ready.
This is the second coming of, you know, the firstborn. On the podcast right now. So, but
technically it was the first coming.
Hey. Anyway. But anyway, his responses, his statement brought up a very interesting point that I feel like, you know, now we're about to give what we call a generosity hand. We don't call it that. I call it that, and I just made that up. So please don't trademark it.
The word generosity?
Generosity. I just made it up.
Okay. So that's like when Bush said misunderestimate.
Hey.
Strategy.
And wasn't he a president? Shut up. So.
What Chris Rock said, the black sister could be the manager of Burger King. Meanwhile, the white sister just happened to be the president of the United States.
But the question, that generosity hand extended, I feel like we need to help people out there who may be listening, which, by the way, thank you for listening if we haven't told you already.
Absolutely.
Thank you for listening. I'm secretly trying to take over this podcast. He just don't know it yet. So please just listen in.
It's a very cloak and dagger operation.
And then hit us up on Instagram, you know.
At the Unbounded Podcast.
At Team Hand Promotions.
Shameless plug. Shameless.
Hit us on Instagram, you know.
That's all he really wanted to do.
That's it, guys. That's all I'm really for. Good night. No, but Generosity, how to recognize when you're in or embarking upon a situationship. Okay?
Did you feel it coming?
Like there are some when you've seen as much life as I have, as I'll say, you get to know the telltale signs of certain things. Like, women, no offense, please do not stop listening for what I'm about to say. But if you've been close enough to your significant other, you kind of know when their monthly is coming on. Like, you can see the signs of it ahead of time. So you, as the man, know that, listen, okay, about to hit a war zone for a couple days. Let's strap up. Let's put our gear on and let's get ready to ride this wave, because babe not gonna be the same for the next couple days.
I don't feel like my girlfriend acts any different.
And listen, then that's just you, and you need to count your blessings while you can, because I'm telling you now, there are some people out there, you just know when certain things are about to happen, like the way they walk in the house. If they close the door a certain way, if they got a certain look on it, something's about to happen, but you got to gear up for it.
Like, she doesn't come in, not on her monthly, just like skipping through the door, and then the next day she's on it and she's like a monster.
No, I mean, like, in general. Now, I'm just saying, like, listen, we'll talk about that later off air. We'll talk later off air. But how to recognize that you are embarking into a situationship. And I feel like the first and most important thing to recognize in this situation is how you met this person.
Okay.
Now,
ladies and gentlemen, the doors of the church are now open. The collection plate is coming around.
Collection plates are coming around, because I'm about to give y'all some $1 million advice for absolutely the cost of downloading Podbean, which is free. So, how you met this person. What were the circumstances behind meeting this person? Were you in a club? Were you at the library? Did you meet them online? Did you meet them at a party? Was alcohol involved? Was anything of that? Like, the circumstances behind meeting this person. Now, given the circumstance, you could be lining up for a situationship. The next thing that you would need to recognize is you already into the situationship, and it's how often do you see this person, or how do your interactions with this person go? And when you want to talk to this person, are you reaching out to them first, or are they hitting you up? Mm-hmm. When you want to see this person, are they making a way to you, or are you coming to them, or bringing them to you? Things like that. If you find yourself giving not a lot more, but a little bit more to this person, then they give it to you. Regardless of circumstance, they may not have a car, they may work all the time, blase, blase, blah. If you giving just a little bit more, you might be on the road to a situationship. Next sign, and I love that you're giving me this open forum to just talk. Y'all can chime in at any time.
I feel like because I'm trying to put this mentally in like compartments of like questions I've had over the years, and some of it is like fitting right on in, and I'm like, okay, well, that makes sense why such and such happened. Because like when you were talking about where'd you meet the person, was there alcohol involved, etc. I know for a fact that
big facts
that all three, I'm not naming names,
big
all
snacks,
three of your
love
children,
some Big Macs,
all three of your beautiful children came from what I believe I think I can confidently say 2 of them were situationships, and all 3 of them you met in the same place. Alcohol was not involved, I don't think.
First of all,
a lot of things happened in high school that I did not know about. Some of them right next to me, but we're not gonna get into that.
First of all, we're not gonna talk about that.
I wish you'd have just got me a hazmat suit.
We're not gonna talk about that. Okay, that was a long time ago, in a planet far, far away. But No, first off, first things first, I love my babies.
Yep.
All of them. I really do.
It's just my opinion that
This
they
is
were
where the awkward silence comes in, guys.
that they were situationships.
This is me trying to explain my way out of the situation.
I'm learning a lot about my creation right now. It's kind of confusing.
So two
I'm
of the three,
I'm so glad we have that on record.
two of the three weren't situationships.
Okay.
I was actually in relationships with two of the three.
Uh-huh.
The last one would have been more so a situationship.
Okay.
That just kind of, whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah, because when I said it, I then remember. I was like, wait. He was in an actual relationship with her. I remember that. But, yeah, the last one for sure.
Yeah. So, it happens to the best of us. But, we live, we learn, we get love, as the commercial would say. Loves can also sponsor us, please. Loves, Pampers, Huggies, whoever. We taking all the sponsors.
Man, the cost of raising kids.
I'm telling you.
Diapers. Come on, Huggies. What are you doing?
Next time on Unbounded, sponsor search.
Hashtag cut my check.
Cut the check.
Cut the check. Cut it.
But back to situationship. We're not gonna talk about me all day. This is not about me. This is about.
I mean, do you feel like I've ever been in a situationship? We could talk about me.
No, it's not. We're not gonna necessarily. If the people want to know about us, they'll ask. And this is what I'll do. I'll drop this knowledge on you right now.
Mm-hmm.
But if we get enough comments, concerns, questions, whatever, about us in general, I will come back to the studio and we will drop an individual podcast on just us, answering whatever questions you want.
I like
Unbounded. Unbounded questions, Unbounded, we'll call it Unbounded 20 or 20 Unbounded, whatever that we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But
I like the idea. I'm all about it.
now, back into it. The next sign of a situationship, because I completely forgot where I was before.
You talked about, where you met them and the circumstances surrounding meeting them.
Okay.
And then the next sign.
So then now how does this situationship progress? Now you at the point where you give yourself, quote unquote, again, I know we unbounded, but I'm not trying to, make any females out there look bad by saying they just doing the deed with whoever. But you give yourself to this particular individual, and now you look at how things are, changing. Like after this, do you find the person needing more or wanting more things from you? Not like wanting or needing things in a sense of an actual relationship. Like, hey, I want to spend more time with you, or I need to see you more. But hey, can I do this, or can you do this for me, or can I borrow, or can I have this, or whatever. They're asking you for more and more things. That right there is the strongest sign of a situationship I could ever seen, or I could ever give to you. Because again, when you started with this person, they had their own situation going on, but now they've gotten to you, and for lack of a better word, in you. And now they see what you've got going on in your situation, and all of a sudden your situation looks a lot better than theirs. So they want to see how much they can get out of your situation.
Whoa. The light bulb just went off.
It is.
So does this go both ways?
Oh, absolutely. And I'm glad you said that.
Okay.
Because this is how we've known each other for so many years. Because I was literally thinking of the female side, or the flip side of this situation. So now, let's say we have an individual, because this individual could be male or female. We have an individual who hasn't gotten just the overall attention of having an individual there with them all the time, or on a regular basis. They don't get any regular sex. Let me just unboundedly say that. So now they're getting it on the regular, and it's like, oh wow, I don't want this situation to stop, because it might have taken me some days, weeks, months, or years to get to this situation. And I don't want to invest that time in getting back to a similar or better situation. So let me just see what I can do on this end. Maybe if I let them do this, they will stay longer. Or maybe if I give them that, they will stay longer. Or well, maybe if I bribe them with this, they will stay longer. Or maybe if I help them with that, they will stay longer. So let me essentially just guilt trip this person into a situationship versus letting them just take advantage of me in a similar situationship. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. So now we're at the point now in a situationship where a lot of people don't get to, and then when people do get to this point, you start to get nervous. You start to get scared because a lot of men and women don't want to just openly, unboundedly
See how you did that?
tell the truth.
True.
That would be your voice in the back of your head that he was just imitating. You sit down with this person and you ask the age-old question. And that question can come in many different forms. What are we? What are we doing? Where do I or we stand?
Man.
At this point, you got to tell the truth.
That's a 20 in a collection plate for that one.
Just know, fellas, ladies, whatever. That should never be a question that you ever have to ask an individual. Because if you have to ask an individual that question, it's already too late.
What? You ain't
Already
lying.
trapped in the cycle.
It's
Yeah.
already too late. You are knee deep in your situationship at this point, and you are getting no further out.
You are now a hamster on the wheel.
And you are just rolling like old school Limp Biscuit. Shout out the 90s babies everywhere.
Hey.
But you are just in this wheel, in this cycle, and you are just going to keep rolling on. No matter what you say after that, it is irrelevant to the point. Because what's going to come out next is a lie. We are friends. We are good. We are chilling. We are getting to know each other. I need to do this for myself. I have to work on this. I want to be here. It is a lie. They are in a situationship. And you are asking someone who is comfortable in said situationship what we are. Now that what that person is comfortable. What you are is uncomfortable, and you want to move to a new level so you can reach a level of comfort. But guess what, sweetheart, or guess what, sir? They ain't going with you. So again, I say this because I really want you to hear this part. If you have to ask that question, it is too late. Just as one of my favorite quotes goes, you need to make like Elsa and let it go.
Let it go.
Because anything, the next day after that, you can't pull yourself out. They're going to tell you what you want to hear, whatever they got to say to you to make you think that y'all are together or that y'all are going somewhere, y'all are going places, and then all of a sudden you're going to be asking that same question a year, 2 years from now. 5 years from now, you're going to ask it again. 10 years from now, you're going to ask it again, and all of this other stuff. And it's not worth the time God gave you.
Wow. That right there. That says it all. I mean, Mr. Clarity. I like it. That's what I'm talking about.
Hey, I have been in my, I'm not gonna lie and say I'm a saint. I have been in my fair share of situationships. I've also seen my fair share of situationships. I don't know everything about everything, but I can bet you I know a little bit about a little bit.
Look, you got to know. I personally take a lot of pride in the fact, and you can tell me if I'm wrong. I take a lot of pride in the fact that I that I can remember, I don't think I've ever been in a full-on situationship in terms of where, like, she doesn't know what's going on.
Well, that's because you just a big softy. You just want to date every damn. You done been in 82 5-minute relationships, but no situationships. Now that's not to say he does have a committed long-term girlfriend. So that's not to say anything bad about him. I'm just saying he just skips the situation and say, hey, before we do this, are we together or not? I need to know. Or she'll say, hey, we gonna be together before we do this, and he just says, okay, we together. So, yeah. So kudos for that.
You're not wrong, but
Kudos for that.
It came at a time where I felt, and I don't know if you ever felt this way, that basically Unbounded, in order for me to get laid, I had to be in a relationship with the girl.
You do what you gotta do to get what you want.
Right. So it was like, fine. In my mind, I ain't really want to date you, but I had to get the numbers up. Those were rookie numbers. You know, I had to pump those numbers up.
Get them stats right. Get your stats right.
My stats was weak. You know, you got homies like AJ sit here at 15, 20 in 2003, and I'm at 2.
Hey, listen, I told you those were some dark days.
I didn't like it.
My son is here. Now we can't talk about all that. We'll talk about that off the air.
Listen, you know how much I would listen. You lucky, AJ, because I don't even have this much information about my creation, let alone who my biological parents even are. So, hashtag adoption parents.
Hashtag adoption agencies.
But yeah, like that was my mindset. It was the wrong mindset. But girls, I told them what it is. Either they told me, listen, you know, we can hook up, but that's all it is. All right, cool. I was just happy to be there and being. I'm just glad you're paying attention to me.
But here's the thing. Now that you bring up all this stuff from back then, and you know, having the wrong mindset, all of that. That's perfectly
is how
fine.
you find out where you're going.
Exactly. But the thing about it is, you have to actually learn from it, people. I can tell you right now, I could give whoever wants to have a rundown of my stats, please hit me on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever. And we'll have a whole conversation about me and my past from, 87 to today. Mm-hmm. We'll have a whole conversation about it. Some of it might blow your mind. But at the end of the day, I've done a lot of things, seen a lot of things, and learned a lot more from it. Yep. Which means that not to brag or anything like that, but I could tell you, based off of who you were dealing with, how they interact, and everything like that, when you're in a situationship, I can sit here and give you about a 20-30 minute spiel on the signs on the situationship for anybody who didn't fall asleep by now. Thank you. And then I can tell you exactly how to get out of the situationship. Because I've seen it, done it, partaked, and outgrown. So, it's again, we're not saying that, I don't know what he's saying. I can't speak for him. I've known this guy for literally half my life and still can't speak for him. But what I'm saying is,
sure enough, can finish sentences for me.
Ain't that
and call me as soon as I have a thought about him. But
but can't speak for him. No, can't do that. But what I'm saying is, situationships aren't bad. What I'm saying is that if you don't learn anything from being in a situationship, then you just have to accept what you get. You just got to accept the circumstances and the outcome. And the one thing I really need y'all ladies to do is stop saying that niggas ain't shit. It's you that ain't shit. It's either you that ain't shit or something about you that is attracting ain't shit people. Period.
Yeah.
You don't want a situationship. Learn when you getting into one. You done had, but I know some of y'all out there done had 10, 15, 20, 30, whatever, more or less, whatever. Different people you've at least interacted with, whether you have physically been with them or not. people that you just interacted with. If you can't recognize what type of people you dealing with by now, you need to put yourself in the hamster wheel somewhere in a bubble in space and just run around forever because you don't need to. I don't know what you're doing with your time out in the world if you're not studying what's going on around you, and least of all people. But want to call yourself getting with somebody, and instead of recognizing the situation for what it is, this is what they love to do. They like to make excuses for that person. Can I say that?
Yeah.
Can I say that on the Unbounded?
Yeah.
They like to make excuses for that. Stop with the excuses and start getting results.
Oh, but he's trying, or she's this or that. Because I'm no saint. I have made excuses for one female in particular that y'all were questioning me about all the time while I even dealt with her. And I mean, I just straight up told her, like, I'm sorry, man. Like, the play is good, player. Like, that's just what it is. I know I shouldn't have nothing to do with this girl, but hey. But I felt stronger admitting it.
Hey.
But no, we don't need to make excuses. Oh, they're trying their best. So like, okay, while he or she is trying their best, there's somebody out there that has tried, figured it out, succeeded, and are flying high and waiting on a person like you to fly with them. While you sitting here worrying about people just trying. Trying is good, but if trying don't get to no success, what's it good for?
How many attempts are you going to make before you just say it's time to move on and let's try something else?
Ooh, there you go.
You know,
I like that.
I wish I could drop this mic right now because I swear it looks like it costs a lot of money, so I'm not gonna drop it. But I wish I could just drop this.
It's
mic
a theoretical mic drop, and on that, and on that note, I definitely appreciate y'all joining us for this episode of the Unbounded podcast. This is the longest one yet.
Hey man, I thank you. Hey, this is what you get me on here. I like to talk.
Hey,
I like to talk.
It's all about it. We definitely want
But
to.
I thank you for having me.
Absolutely, and definitely big ups to Adrean for joining the studio, putting that 14-year-old wisdom.
Damn, and it's hard to say that about a 14-year-old, but it definitely is true wise.
I was dumb as a rock at 14.
True wise.
I'm telling you, I wish I had half this boy's intelligence at 14. And I sure thought I was grown too. Thought I knew everything. He over here dropping knowledge like he our age.
But next time on the podcast.
Yeah, so definitely join us and follow us at the Unbounded Podcast on Instagram. And we will see you next week.
Peace.
Hey, thanks for listening to Unbounded. Make sure you follow us on Instagram and subscribe to our channel on YouTube for more content like behind-the-scenes footage and vlogs. If you, like us, live your life with no chains, no rules, and no safe words, then we invite you to join us as a proud supporter of the show. Thanks again for listening.